Welcome to the Sports on Prime. I'm Gary L. Smith, and we do have updates on the WAFU tournament. Ghana did not need to win against Nigeria, but it was for bragging rights as they played earlier this evening. Also in the same Group A, we had Mali and Guinea, and we'll be showing you highlights first of how the Black Stars lost to the old enemy.
Now, and moving well with Odo. That's a great ball in, and very nearly a score with his first touch for Patrick. Very, very nearly indeed. Look at that. The only possibility is he was slightly unsighted by a Koro pocket, and they've just worked out the opposition very well. Maybe now something. Maybe now something for Nigeria. They have scored. At last it's a breakthrough for Okpotu. And what could it mean for Nigeria in this trip? Atinga and Safu were looking so comfortable, but Atinga allowed his man to get goal side of him. Okpotu edging around the side of him here. The ball threatened to run away from him. The goal released suddenly for Nigeria. They're starting to move like we expected they would be in this tournament. And then to get the second. And that's a superlative hit. And now they've got clear space. Moses has done it. It's turned on its head inside 5 minutes early in this second half. And Moses just threads it through between the centre-back and the full-back. I'm not sure Ado can see it until it's past him.
What does this mean in terms of the table? Well, for starters, Ghana does not get usurped at the top of the table, and Nigeria only needed this to be second and qualify for the semi-finals. Guinea and Mali, by extension, will go home. That's it. Meanwhile, Mali versus Guinea was also on. We see highlights of that one.
Coach Max Okonodu, you started the competition not going down to any side, but you did today in a very brutal way. Would you say that the defeat in early on the first half of the game contributed to your losing to Nigeria today?
No, it's not about the goals we conceded. It's about how fit our players were. You know, there's no time to really recover too well for this important match. But all the same, the boys managed. Some had injuries, but we managed to at least end the game. But I have to say that they've done their best. But I think today Nigeria was a better side. We all agree with that, and we can only manage the situation until the end of the game. Most of them got injured, even in the first half. But just that we didn't have the opportunity to make those changes. You know, we're forced to change Chum, who got injured, I think during warm-up, but he thought he could use it to play, but it didn't happen. But all the same, we congratulate Nigeria for the good work they did.
So to understand the point, you started this game with half-fit players.
I will not say half-fit players, but the level at which we competed in the first two games was very, very high. And today, definitely, we were not expecting that the boys can live up to that level again. But like I said, we have to just congratulate Nigeria because they demonstrated that they were really, they had a desire to win the game. So we can't take anything away from them. They did well.
Again, looking at Ghana progressing to the semi-final stages, Niger, Senegal, other teams that you should look out for. How do you see the team going forward? Are they winning the WAFU competition?
The next match is the most important one. We rest well and make sure that we have a very able medical team to work on the boys thoroughly from now till Thursday. So I think on Thursday we will perform much better than today.
Thank you very much, Coach.
Thank you very much.
All has changed now. Nigeria win.
Let's see what the table means. Like I said, Nigeria go to second on the table behind Ghana. And also, we have Mali and Guinea who go home. 6-5, 2-2. Speaking of scores, this weekend, Gennady Golovkin would not be happy about the scorecard he was given by one of the bout referees, that's Adelaide Bird. She scored an improbable 118-110 in the heavily anticipated bout with Saul Canelo Alvarez, which ended controversially in a draw.
In the wild desert of Nevada, two of boxing's most entertaining stars came face to face. A bout to determine the best in the middleweight division. Gennady Golovkin was bidding to defend his WBC, WBA and IBF titles against Saul Canelo Alvarez at the T-Mobile Arena. Alvarez, who is yet to truly establish himself in the division following his only loss to Floyd Mayweather Jr. in 2013, took it to the champion in the early rounds. The 27-year-old Mexican, who has a wealth of experience under his belt with 51 fights to Golovkin's 37, was making it a point to go to the body, a strategic gamble he was hoping would pay off in the later rounds. But Golovkin had plenty of energy and was able to nullify his opponent's tactics. Golovkin picked up the tempo from the third and managed to close the distance between the two. Triple G's experience shone through during the middle rounds, where he landed more punches. And the Kazakhstani professional appeared to be in control in his bid to remain undefeated in 38 fights. Alvarez finished an absorbing fight the stronger and also produced some of the more eye-catching shots. But the bout was too close to call, with the judges declaring a split draw at the end of 12 rounds. Golovkin.
If you watch the bout, you may have thought that it might have gone Golovkin's way, however, and he said that he thought he had won. Saul Canelo Alvarez also thought so. But the general idea from a lot of boxing pundits was that the refereeing decisions were not too good. And it's why some people say boxing is dead, or is it? Now, one of the fastest growing sports in the world is MMA. Recently, it's been made very famous by the Mayweather-Conor McGregor fight, with McGregor being a UFC or MMA mixed martial arts fighter. The first African to fight professionally in the United States is the man behind me. His name is Kamaru Usman, and he is Nigerian. I'll ask him a couple of questions, but thank you for joining us from the United States, Kamaru.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be on the show.
Yeah, so we start with this boxing thing. You know, Golovkin, Alvarez, the kind of scoring leads a lot of people to say that boxing is dead. As an MMA fighter, do you think this is true?
The situation is kind of complex because in boxing there's a lot of politics, and it's easier to sway the judges one way because it's such a specialized art of form of fighting. But which is why I'm in mixed martial arts. You know, I want to essentially control more of the outcome and control the way that my fights take place.
Okay, so also of interest is the fact that when it comes to mixed martial arts, it's a growing audience. There's a huge interest around the world. You had a fight this weekend and you won against Sergio Moraes. Tell us about it.
Yes, I had a big fight against Sergio Moraes, who is a jiu-jitsu specialist, which is very good with submissions on the ground. But, you know, I'm well versed in jiu-jitsu. I'm well versed in wrestling. I'm one of the best mixed martial artists in the world, and I can do everything well. You know, one of the biggest things that I wanted to do is make sure that my fight didn't result in a fight like Triple G and Canelo. You know, I wanted to make sure I put a stamp and let the judges not have a say in it. So I went out and
you took a referee into the ring.
There was a referee inside the ring, but
yeah.
You know, all he was doing was protecting the other guy because I was there to do some damage, and I did Saturday.
We have a fighter here called Azuma Nelson who says the boxers should always take their own referees into the ring and win. Anyway, so how do you feel as the first mixed martial arts African in the league?
You know, as one of the first, I'm great. I'm proud of it because, you know, Africa is we're a continent that doesn't really get all the accolades that we deserve, that we don't get all the respect that we deserve. And so, you know, I'm doing my part on this side to ensure that, you know, I'm letting them know that us Africans can excel in everything that we do.
Excellent. And you called out Sergio Moraes, who is a very good MMA fighter as well. Why did you do that?
I called out RDA, Rafael Dos Anjos, who was a former lightweight champion, and now he's a welterweight. I called him out because he just moved up to the welterweight division, and they're trying to pass him ahead of me in the rankings as if he's a shoe-in to win the title. He's not winning that title, not when I'm in the welterweight division. And so I need to make a statement, and I need to make an example of him.
Kamaru, this year has been called a very good year for fighting as well. Quickly, before you go, how do you see the welterweight division in the MMA as well? Quickly.
The welterweight division is good, but in the end, I'm going to be the king of that division. I will be the champion, if not by the end of this year, definitely before next year.
Thank you very much, and congrats on your bout this past weekend. And that's how we end the sport here on a very fighting note, mixed martial arts. I'll be back at 10:30 with more on the football show, all the highlights of the WAFU tournament, your social media comments, and phone calls as well. I'm Gary Al Smith, and that's the sport for now.